the one stealing from probate accounts?
If you don't leave, I'm going to call the police and I'm
call
going to
them.
arrest you for harassment.
You're going to have them arrested me for asking a question?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to you.
I'd like to see you make that phone call.
Okay.
You have a right to say you don't want to talk to me.
You're right. I don't want to talk to you.
Great.
So don't talk to me.
Great. Do you want to talk about your private judging cases that you didn't list in the courthouse?
Not interested.
Did you know that Michael Smith, Rich Roja, James Cox are all concealing these private judge cases?
This is Susan Bassi, and for the last year, most of California's courts have been largely shuttered due to the global pandemic. And yet we have found that certain lawyers, their clients, and a number of judges have continued to hold court proceedings where they have been present or recording on Zoom and in Microsoft Teams. But for the rest of the public and for journalists involved in news gathering activities, they have been reduced to using phone lines that often don't work and that don't show you what's really going on inside the courthouse.
Please enter your access code, followed by the pound sign.
Open court proceedings are a fundamental right. It's a matter of law. And so when the courts restrict public access to one group of people and not another, we have an equal protection issue. In addition to restricting courtroom proceedings, the courts also closed court clerk offices, which denied the public the right to know about court files. And this is an important tool that journalists use in our news gathering activities. And last summer, David Patton, an attorney, put an important court document in the file that revealed that his client was allegedly engaged in conduct that included stealing cash and gold coins from a safe in a probate matter. And so we had to use other tools available in order to investigate this matter further. And just before I did, I happened to watch some videos that were referred to me by San Joaquin Valley Transparency. They referred a journalist by the name of James Freeman and his channel. And I happened to watch that channel before I engaged in questioning some of these attorneys about the conduct of what was going on in Santa Clara County in private judge cases and in cases where court proceedings were restricted to the public.
Been out. Have you been to the bar today at all?
Who are you?
Have you been to the bar today?
Who are you?
I'm an investigator.
Investigator for who?
Investigative journalist. I investigate corrupt officials.
What's brilliant about James Freeman's questions is he asks the very questions that police officers feel they are entitled to ask members of the public. And while we don't have an obligation to answer these questions, they use it as part of their investigative process, and they can often use it against you, very much like attorneys do in court.
Are you David Patton? I'd like to talk to you about private judging.
I don't really care what you want. I'm not interested in talking to you.
I'd like to talk to you about how you're
Are you
teaching your
Susan
clients-
Bassi?
I am.
This is David Patton, and he is an attorney. He's also an attorney who got an email from me just before I engaged in this ambush interview. Ambush interviews are used by journalists as a last resort, after all our other tools have been exhausted from our toolbox when we're conducting an investigation. And nothing in our questions is designed to accuse anybody of something that they didn't do. It is designed to elicit a reaction, and we study those reactions along with the other information we have in our toolbox.
You're going to have them arrested me for asking a question?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to you.
I'd like to see you make that phone call.
Okay.
You have a right to say you don't want to talk to me.
You're right. I don't want to talk to you.
Great.
So don't talk to me.
Great. Do you want to talk about your private judging cases that you didn't list in the courthouse?
Not interested.
Did you know that Michael Smith, Rich Roja, James Cox are all concealing these private judge cases? Are you Jessica Siegel? Are you enabling this conduct? What do you consider defamatory on that?
Lies.
Which ones? The
Oh,
ones
well,
you tell
the
in
ones you're
court?
doing.
About your client, Mary Lopez, stealing cash and gold coins from a safe?
Okay. Oh. Well, perhaps you ought to talk to the judge about whether that information can be.
David Patton certainly had every right to not answer any of my questions. He could have walked away, and that would have been the end of it. Not a very interesting video, and I wouldn't have gotten any information. But he continued to talk to me, as if I were a witness on a stand, and as if he were an attorney in a courtroom who had an ability to exclude evidence and an ability to tattletale to a judge when something wasn't going his way. Mr. Patton clearly isn't very educated on the First Amendment.
Oh yeah, you can get anything you want excluded included in that courthouse, but not on this public sidewalk, Mr. Patton.
Okay, well,
Are you
I'm
calling
not
the
interested in
police?
talking to you anymore.
Anybody want to call the police about me
Please, if
recording
you
in
keep
public?
harassing me, I will.
About me asking you a question down
I'm
the street?
asking you not to do that.
You don't get to ask me not to do that.
Well, maybe I'll get a restraining order, but I'm not
That's
talking
great.
anymore.
That's great.
Stop calling. See you, Mary.
So,
David Patton again had a right to walk away, but he resorted to what he knew best, threatening me with a civil restraining order, because that is something that is very common in Santa Clara County when attorneys don't like my questions, including the district attorney in Santa Clara County, after I was interviewing him about misusing state and federal funds earmarked for crime victims. And when attorneys believe that they can solve all of their problems in court, it's quite a problem. It's called an abuse of process, and it's not something that we are unfamiliar with when we are asking attorneys questions.
all these private judging cases, Mr. Patton, were concealed from the public, and you made millions of dollars. And you duped your clients into private judging, telling them it would be faster
I
and
have
cheaper.
no idea what you're talking about, and I don't want to talk to you.
Well, you currently have a case in trial that's gone 4 days. How's that going for
Do you think
faster
I'm a
and
private
cheaper?
judge?
I'm
Do you
sorry?
think I've made millions of dollars on private judging?
Oh, I do, and I can prove it.
Oh, well, I'd like to see that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How much did Miss Lopez pay you for 4 years of dragging out her case in front of Mr. Smith?
There's absolutely none of your business.
Oh, okay. How about not posting that case, Mr. Patton? How about concealing it from the public, violating the rules of court?
Do you think, are you saying that I have to post things?
No, I'm saying that you knew those cases weren't posted in the public.
How would I know that?
Well, how will people find your cases?
I don't know.
You're keeping
Maybe you should look and
secret
see.
dockets in cases where your clients are allegedly committing crimes. And you're violating the statute of limitations, so you're protecting your clients in private judging, and you're concealing those cases from the district attorney and the public.
Well, if you post that online, you're committing defamation.
How would you like to say what part of that is not true?
All of it.
Really? All your private judging cases before Michael Smith were posted in the courthouse pursuant to California Rules of Court 2.834?
I have no idea. I don't have any private judge cases.
Oh, you don't? Where are
not a
you
private
headed
judge.
right now? You going to Michael Smith's right now for another settlement? More clients you duped into
I'm
private
not saying
judging?
I haven't used a private judge. I'm saying I don't post private judge cases. I don't do that.
And you also don't make sure that they're posted, do you?
It's not my job.
You don't make millions of dollars in your private judging cases, huh? How you paying for that Mercedes, Mr. Patton?
That, again, is none of
Pretty
your
nice
business.
office staff you have there too.
What kind of car do you drive?
2007 Hyundai. You want to see it?
Yeah. Well, then you
And
should
your
bring that
little
up with your attorney.
racketeering scam here.
Well, there you go. If you post that, you're again committing defamation.
Oh, I'm committing defamation. Would you like me to show you all your private judging cases that were not posted in the courthouse that are
That
secret
has nothing to do with
dockets?
me. I'm not required to post anything.
Oh no, but if you know those cases aren't being posted, you know they're being secreted, so people cannot literally look into what you're doing in those cases. And you're telling your clients that it's faster and cheaper when you know that's not true. You're deceiving the public, you're deceiving your clients for the benefit of private judges. Not to mention you're kissing up
Goodbye.
pretty big to Judge Aaron in there, aren't you? How you doing, Jessica? You gonna post that up? You gonna post that up on YouTube?
This is a page from the California Judge's Handbook. It describes hometowning, or the practice of a judge favoring certain lawyers and their clients because of the relationships they have with those lawyers. It's easy to see this problem with private judging. With public court judges, it's a little more difficult to see, but when you can watch a courtroom, it becomes more obvious. We'd been following Judge Mary Aaron's cases for some period of time, and that includes for her role in hometowning with certain lawyers and her role in not knowing the law when it came to First Amendment issues in the Michael Lazarin case involving the Potts.
If you just would answer some of my questions, I'd be happy to go away.
You may recall that shortly before the pandemic locked all of our courts down, we covered a case at the 6th District Court of Appeal involving Michael Lazarin and his First Amendment right to talk about his daughter, who had died in 2012 of a suicide. That same daughter was the subject of a Netflix film, Audrey and Daisy, and the Potts used the courts in order to restrain Michael Lazarin's First Amendment right to tell the truth about what had really happened to his daughter. And the judge in the trial court that decided that Michael Lazarin had no First Amendment rights was Judge Mary Arend. But unlike police officers who must face internal affairs or lawyers who must face the state bar, judges only have to face the Court of Appeal and voters when it comes to their decisions and following the law. And in March of 2020, the 6th District Court of Appeal found that Judge Mary Arend didn't know the law when it came to the First Amendment, and they reversed her decision, sending it back to the trial court.
Hey Sheila, I wondered if you had a comment about your recent published decision in the 6th District Court of Appeal, where you tried to silence Michael Lazarin, Audrey's biological father. Would you like to talk about that? I didn't hear you mention that today. Do you have any comment about that? Would you like to talk about how you were married to another man, Larry Pott, and you failed to tell Michael Lazarin that you were still married when you conceived Audrey?
Can you give some people some? Yeah.
She's a public figure, ma'am.
Out of respect.
She's a public figure.
Okay. You're harassing her.
No, I'm asking her some questions.
I hope you can take this whole talk seriously instead of doing this for money. Have a lovely.
Do you guys know anything about her published decision in the 6th District Court of Appeal? Do you know that she tried to silence Audrey's father, who was Hispanic and Asian? Do you know that her case was used to get Jeff Rosen reelected?
Jessica Siegel is one of the attorneys with the Lonich and Patton law firm, and that's a law firm we started investigating over a year ago in connection to private judging, where attorneys act as self-proclaimed judges and they issue legal orders in return for pay.
Okay. Hello, David.
Hi, Judge.
And did you say Jessica's on the line too?
Yeah, we got Jessica here too.
Yeah, I love it. I get to deal with people like you guys. Enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I find it to be very gratifying because most of the cases, unlike Garcia Lopez, get settled and stay settled, and everybody is happy with what occurred.
These are the law offices of Michael Smith a year after we started our investigation into his private judging cases. To be clear, private judging involves attorneys who act as self-proclaimed judges, meaning they don't have the training and experience of a public court judge, and yet they make orders and rulings as if they are a judge. Private judges get a steady stream of income from attorneys such as David Patton, and on this day, we knew that David Patton was headed to Michael Smith's offices, but the phone number that is published in the courthouse for Michael Smith is no longer operable, and his offices are empty, and therefore David Patton went off to another secret proceeding, where they have told clients that it will be cheaper and faster to use a private judge or an attorney acting as a judge in their divorce or custody cases, and nothing could be further from the truth.
How about that Lopez case? 4 years pending, and now a 4-day trial. Probably 5. How was that cheaper and faster? Are you hoping to get private judging cases? What do you tell your clients, Ms. Siegel?
As we're all growing accustomed to the police recording us on their body cams and First Amendment auditors and cop watchers recording the police and other public officials, I have to admit I was a little surprised to see this young attorney attempting to record me on a public sidewalk. I would like to give her a little advice about holding that camera horizontally and in a firm position where it's clear that she's recording, because only then can we assure that there's full transparency on both sides, and that's how it should be in court. We should all be able to see what we're all doing in public, because only then Do we have full transparency, accountability, and public trust in our legal system? Jessica Siegel is a young attorney, and hopefully she will understand that the rule of law is what her profession is based on, and she needs to follow the rule of law and get legal outcomes for her clients based on the law, and not based on cronyism, hometowning, or using private judges or self-proclaimed judges in secret so that the public isn't aware of what's going on, because that's how we lose public trust and confidence in our courts.
You want to talk about private judging?
No, thank you.
Do you know what California Rules of Court 2.834 are? That would be the list. Open proceedings, Ms. Siegel. Did you know that divorce cases...
Would watch out, there's cars coming.
Thank
You're gonna
you.
get
I
hit.
appreciate your concern for my safety. Do you know what California Rules of Court 2.834 are? You know that your attorneys are not posting those cases in the courthouse? You're selecting private judges. Are you giving favorable treatment to certain clients? Are you getting better prices?
Can you please stop following me, or I'm gonna have to
Secret
get a
deals?
bailiff.
You're going to do what?
I'm gonna have to get a bailiff.
Okay, let's get one. Should we get one?
No, I would just like to go home and have you go home.
Well, I'm
So
not
thank
going
you.
your way.
Perfect.
Thanks for talking to me, Miss Siegel.